The FBI is opening two separate investigations into Mica Miller's shock suicide after bombshell daily journals emerge as heat is turned up on her abusive pastor husband who threatened to attack and cause pain, which sounds to me that in some way John Paul could be behind it. I'm not saying that he is, but all statements in this video are alleged, and I want to be clear, and he is not a suspect. So I'm Joseph Morris. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell. And a lot of the words in this video are censored to avoid punishment by YouTube, which means no disrespect to the Mica Miller case. So the FBI and federal attorneys have gotten involved in the investigation of the death of pastor's wife, Mica Miller. Beautiful Mica, 30, was found in Lumbee River State Park in North Carolina on April 27th from a self-inflicted wound, according to authorities. She took her own life days after serving her husband, John Paul Miller, 44, with divorce papers, and police ruled it a. The Robeson County Sheriff's Office, which has since been in charge of the investigation, said that they've been in touch with federal authorities since they began their probe, writing, quote, "Based on the information gathered during the investigation and jurisdiction reasons, the Sheriff's Office has requested the assistance of both agencies," end quote. So no further information was provided, but it's understood that Mica kept a daily journal detailing her struggle and a marriage prior to her death. The investigation continues to surround Mica's husband, John Paul, herein referred to as JP, after it was revealed earlier Monday that he penned a poisonous email to his estranged wife before her death, saying he wanted to, quote, attack and cause pain, end quote. Now, this to me is highly suspicious. I mean, is it possible that he somehow coerced Mica into unaliving herself, whether directly or indirectly? So users seem to think so. TikTok sleuths have pointed out that a voice can be heard at the start of the 911 call before Mica speaks. So I cleaned up the audio, and it does sound like someone getting annoyed, frustrated, and aggressive at Mica from a distance. So I boosted and cleaned up the recording, and I can hear someone yell and say, quote, "Up, right, phone her," end quote. Like we caught the tail end of "hurry up, right, phone her." So I'll just play the audio, and you can decide for yourselves.
Your emergency.
Hi, are you able to trace the location of my phone?
Like, I can picture somebody in the background telling, "Hurry up, right, phone her," like that to her. Let's play that again.
Your emergency.
Hi, are you able to trace the location of my phone?
Not realizing that he was being recorded. It kind of reminds me of the JonBenet Ramsey case where the mother phoned 911, and you can kind of make out someone in the distance saying like, "I can't believe he did it." And that's why a lot of people think it was the son who deleted JonBenet Ramsey. If you guys want a video on that, let me know in the comments below. But it's just giving me the vibe of like, you know, maybe that is JP in the background, not saying that it is. People think this may just be audio from within the 911 call center, but a lot of people think that JP may have coerced her into unaliving herself. Again, not saying that he did, but this kind of gave me a little bit of a second guess. And now that the FBI is opening the investigation into her passing, I kind of wonder if this maybe has something to do with it. And I really hope the FBI takes a closer look at this 911 call, also takes a closer look at his alibi, where he was apparently at this sporting game that was 3 hours away, where he could have very well have driven back to this river where she was found passed. And her dad actually said that it's highly suspicious she was at this river because there's no significance to her over this river. So why was she there? Of course, how can we not talk about the fisherman who said he heard a cry and then a gunshot go off? So JP's alibi was that he was at a sporting event 3 hours away, and the person who can vouch for JP's alibi was his own girlfriend, which is, come on, there's going to be a bias there. The cops also gave an image of JP's truck on the highway to prove that he was at this sporting event. Only problem is, though, that the windows are tinted, so who knows who was in that truck. Could it be his girlfriend driving the truck back for him? It's strange because Mica was seen at a gas station filling her tank up with gas in the moments leading up to her passing. She also made plans to get her hair done and meet church friends the next day. It just doesn't seem to add up to me that she did this. JP is accused in court documents of grooming Mica for years before they got married, committing her to the hospital to steal her car and wipe her devices, and cheating on his first wife, Allison, with not-of-age churchgoers. So Solid Rock Church is also under a separate investigation by the FBI over their charity Dare to Care. So it's a little confusing, but there's two separate FBI investigations. So this charity, based in Africa, was apparently misappropriating funds, I think is the word. I'm not too sure. So essentially, people would donate to this charity, and allegedly, JP would skim some money off the top of it. Strangely, after Mica's passing, $1,400 ended up being deposited into Mica's account. So was JP trying to frame Mica for his crimes? Mica was aware of the FBI investigation leading up to her passing, and I think it's possible the FBI are investigating the financial aspect of this case to find a potential motive for JP targeting Mica. Many people also think that it's possible the pedo trafficking ring that the church operated could have extended to Africa with this charity. Again, I'm not saying this is fact, but this is some speculation that the church was operating a ring, and now they extended it to Africa. Remember, there is a known predator who was on the congregation of the church, and it's been alleged that girls not of age, including Mica, were groomed at Solid Rock. But what's crazier is when you take a closer look at JP's dad, Dr. Reginald Wayne Miller, who was allegedly arrested for hooking up with a minor in a shower, received charges, and then had the charges expunged. This is according to a Reddit post. This all occurred in the 90s. He was allegedly caught for lewd acts in Pakistan a few years back and allegedly fled to the US to avoid punishment. In Pakistan, he was living in a private society at the time called Eden Garden, which was full of younger boys. One user writes, Dr. Reginald Wayne Miller, Mica Miller's father-in-law, is a wanted man in Pakistan for SA of a minor in his charity work overseas. These people were trafficking children through church charity work. This is one huge military operation. So people have pointed out the chilling detail that Little Rock's logo is also the same symbol for a PDF file ring. So this is the Solid Rock logo right here, and that heart is actually from a leaked FBI document where these are known symbols for PDF files. So essentially, PDF files will use these symbols as a covert way that this sort of inappropriate behavior to young ones is permitted. It's how they communicate to each other in code. So this particular symbol is one for girl love. What's more, one user, Jets Ika, found a flyer for a pizza party at the church. So pizza is also a code word for PDF file rings. So just to jog your memory, Mica, before her passing, alleged that she was groomed by JP at the age of 14 when she joined the church. And JP's ex-wife, Allison, said in court documents that JP would engage with girls at the church not of the age of 16. So is the church operating some huge network pedo ring? I don't know. I think the FBI needs to take a closer look at that as well. It's also been revealed that JP had his wife cremated as soon as possible after she passed. So JP allegedly made Mica's family sign papers to have her cremated before they can see her or get a second autopsy. Her father, Dennis, said she had marks on her body, including handprints, symptomatic of a battered wife. And of course, there's that chilling video of Mica talking about how to get out of an abusive marriage before she passed. JP had prior charges for assault and battery. And the days leading up to Mica's passing, she said she was fearing for her life and bought a gun, which I believe was for self-defense. Her family is calling for justice for Mica. And I think there should be a law that prevents someone who is undergoing a divorce to be allowed to be cremated from their estranged partner. JP's current girlfriend, who I won't name or show a picture of, had a husband who was paralyzed, and he allegedly died from suicide as well by drowning in a pool, which is a weird coincidence. People also keep bringing up the fact that JP was texting a waitress how hot she was after Mica passed and while he was with his current girlfriend. It's also been revealed that JP allegedly published revenge of Mica on Facebook and later admitted to it in an email. And hours after her death, JP sent the family this heinous text. He allegedly wrote to the family, quote, "This is what happens when you try to encourage someone to divorce the person they love and tell them they don't need medicine and that they're not ill when they are. Good job, Francis family." So this text honestly gives me chills because, again, maybe this is just my conspiracy mind and my tinfoil hat being worn, but it sounds to me like he sent this text as a way to control the narrative, as in like 100% she committed without ever second guessing that maybe he was involved and then rushing the cremation. So I think this text sort of reeks of a cover-up. Like, why would you send that to a family, a grieving family? Anyway, this case, every time I look for an update, there's always a new one. So it's hard to keep track of it. And I think there is something to be said about the new FBI investigation. I mean, there's two. So they clearly know something. And I think there's like a 97% chance that when an FBI is involved, the person will get pegged for something. So this is some really good news in the hopes for justice for Mica. And, you know, I read all your comments, so I would love to hear what do you guys think about all this. Please sound off in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe by hitting my face here. And I cannot wait to show you Gabby and her new puppy. So make sure you stay tuned for that as well. All right, let's roll the outro. Bye, guys. Have a great day.